The merry monarch, Charles II, died in 1685 and was succeeded by his brother as James II. James Stuart's pronounced Catholic leanings soon proved unacceptable to Parliament, and civil war was narrowly averted by his flight to France. The English Parliament invited his Dutch cousin, a good Protestant, to ascend the throne as William III. But within a few months, the exiled James sought to regain his crown, and he left France for Ireland, setting up his court in Catholic Dublin. So here were two monarchs, William of Orange, recognized in England, and James Stuart, with French assistance, acknowledged throughout all Ireland. All, that is, except the northern Protestants of Ulster, and especially the Presbyterians of the city of Londonderry. It was here, and at this point in time, that we take up the story.
The Pope and King Louis of France stood each with a map of the land, deciding which one at a glance could the countries of Europe command. The Pope backed Prince William of Holland to win over Albion in style, but King Louis thought Jamie of Scotland could beat Europe from Erin's green Isle. Oh, hurrah for the brave boys of Derry, who fought for their country and home. The subjects of Derry got merry when they shut out the tyrants of Rome.
Aye, aye.
Ah, it's a fine fresh morning there, Nelly.
Aye, it is that, thank God, George Campsey. Coming from your work, are you?
I am that. Where have you been yourself?
Well, where else but to leave the cows out to grass.
Did you hear a bit of news on your travels?
Now, what news would I better have and have no further than the banks of the River Foyle?
'Tis said that the soldiers of King James are advancing on the town.
Well, I'm sure there's room enough for them in the big city of Derry.
Oh, yes, that's true enough. But you heard nothing.
Oh, well, I heard bugles and the sound of trotting horses, so we should have them here shortly, I dare say. It'll bring a bit of jollification to the place tonight, I'm thinking.
There's talk that the folk won't let them in the town.
Ah, what nonsense. Who'd be keeping the army of the king outside?
Well, it is what's being said, Nelly. They say they will close the gates.
Close the gates against the king's men? God almighty, man, no even the Lord Mayor himself and all his members and council could do a thing like that.
It is what's being said, Nelly, anyway.
Okay, aye, but the folks at Derry says a lot more than the prayers, I'm thinking.
Come on, roll up, everyone. Fine fresh fish here. Oh, come and buy.
You're about late, Henry. Is his lordship hunting today? When the cat's away.
I'm not going to work.
Not going to work, eh? Wish I had the wealth of you. You've not been dismissed, have you?
There are more important things than work, Father.
You? Not going to your work? You'll be dismissed.
I'll be dismissed, then.
After all the trouble your father had to have you indentured.
Don't you know the papists are almost at the gates?
And with a good master, too. What's the agent going to say?
Our very freedom is at stake. Don't you know that, Mother?
Your position's at stake. Where do you think you're going with that?
He's going to stop the army of King James.
He won't enter without a fight, and that's for sure.
Stop the king? Mm-hmm. But isn't that treasonable? And who's going to stop the king with you? Now, why should you want to disobey the lawful authority, Henry?
That which is without justice cannot be lawful.
Oh, I can tell who you heard talk the likes of that. Alderman Tompkins.
It's not only him. Lots of folks say so.
Oh, aye. They'll prime the muskets. And the poor folk will fire them. Then they'll reaffirm their allegiance to the king as you swing from a common gibbet.
Well, would you have us live Roman papists? We demand freedom of worship.
And demand it from the bishop. He's the one who'll deny it to you.
Ah, you're talking like a papist, Father.
I'm talking as one who was persecuted by the established church for no other crime. I choose to be a nonconformist.
Well, nobody will persecute anybody anymore after we've destroyed the power of the Pope and returned the kingdom to the Protestant religion.
Your great-grandfather was fined £500 for holding a prayer meeting on Presbyterian lines. That's why the Campsies are paupers now.
Well?
He was brought to court by an Episcopalian bishop and found guilty of riot and unlawful assembly. That was long before we had a popish king. And my father's marriage was not recognised because it took place in front of a Presbyterian minister.
That would make you...
Aye, and it makes you the son of a bastard.
The biggest threat at the moment is the Pope's army led by King James. Our own difficulties can be worked out when we've stopped the Roman hordes.
Oh, God almighty, listen to the language. You begin to talk like one of those bloody aldermen.
Oh, don't get yourself into trouble, son. Go to your good work.
We're going to close the gates.
Close the gates? I never heard the likes. You can't close the gates.
We're going to.
But you... Talk to him, George.
Talk, let him close the gate. Listen, stand well clear when the king's army pushes them in on top of you.
Well, who'd ever believe there'd be a young fella crazy enough to think that he could close the very gates of London, Derry? Lord above, strange times we're living in with the children that's going now.
We, the young apprentice boys, will close old Derry's gates. To hell with popish traitors we decree, and stop King James II in this year of Roman hate, and bring King William to the monarchy. We'll take those gates and slam them, the Jacobites will ram them, to prove that there can never be a hope of making Roman traitors out of Shakers, Ranters, Quakers. God save King Billy, damn the bloody Pope.
No surrender. No surrender.
No surrender!
No surrender! No surrender!
Prince William's a commoner-looking man altogether. Like, more man of the people, they say.
He wouldn't have to do a lot about that. King James here never did a stroke of work in his life.
Shall we throw King Jamie here out, your worship?
Oh, I think we'll just keep him by a while. After all, William may not stay long enough in Ireland to sit for a big enough poultry to fill that space.
He's a careful man, I'm thinking.
Who's a careful man?
His worship, the mayor.
He minds his grain well.
He'll not be short of a cause, I'm sure.
Like the rest of the council, he'd place his hands together and thank God that he'd a cause to sell when the need arose.
What is it they're all arguing about, anyway?
Every prince of Europe wants to be king of England. And every time England quivers, the whole of Ireland quakes.
But I've heard it said that William's one of our own.
One of our own what, but they ask?
He's non-conformist, he's anti-papist, he's not even high church. He'd make a good king of England and Ireland.
The man that fought his own father-in-law. See that?
Aye.
That's as much of him as we'll ever see. The picture of a prince.
Aye! We know your mission. Bring King James our answer. No papist armies coming through them gates.
I order of His Majesty King James II. I command.
As a commander I should be. You there, bring us a great gun.
We took those gates and rammed them, the Jacobites we slammed them, to prove that there can never be the hope of making the Roman traitors out of Shakers, Ranters, Quakers. God save King Billy, damn the bloody Pope.
Why are you trying to open the gates, Nelly?
Because they're closed, Henry Campsie. The ferry gate's bolted and barred, and so's the butcher gate.
Aye, we've just closed them.
Eh? nothing better to do than make life difficult for an old woman. Is Maggie and Mary to jump over them or what?
Maggie and Mary who?
My 2 cows. It has to come back to the bar at this time every evening.
Are they out there now?
Well, that's where I always leave them, grazing by the river.
Oh, I think you must say goodbye to them now, Nellie. You'll have lost them entirely.
I don't talk rubbish, Henry Campsey. Haven't I no more than a minute ago heard them lowing to be collected?
Don't you know the army of King James is out there now?
And as I told your father, the place is big enough for him and the river deep enough for all his navy.
But we're at war with them, Nellie. They'll shoot anybody who goes out there now.
Would they shoot an old woman that wants nothing but just her 2 cows?
I think they'll have taken the cows for themselves now, Nellie.
Hey? Well, God knows it's easy enough being a king if all you need to do is take from others and give to yourself.
Hey! Let me in! Open these curtains! Who's there? Get Captain Ash! Captain Ash! Captain
Should they not reopen the gate? Business as usual. Beef 8p the pound. Business as usual. Come on, come and buy. Butter
8p a pound. I can't afford that. Who can?
Well, if you can't afford it, you'll have to go without, love.
Well, what about children? What do you think of children?
I don't give a fig about your children.
So you'd see them starved to death, would
That's right,
you?
love, yes.
She's got a family to
Listen,
feed.
if she hasn't got the money, she can clear off, and so can you. Just beef 8p the pound. Come on, all buy.
If you're wanting wit and fun, to me Lazarian come. For I'm the boy that can make you enjoy inimitability.
Why don't you sing your perishing rubbish to them what's outside the walls, mate?
I never forget a voice, me bucko. And some dark night when yourself is less equal, I'll make the blood flow fast from your ignorant farting crown.
Yeah, well, I'm not afeard of you or any other blind bastard.
I've a new ballad for you, entitled The True Story of the Flight of Governor Londonderry Lundy, hotly pursued by His Majesty King James.
Lundy was here in Wales to make ballads about his generosity.
By God, Jack, a great patriotism of him, enough to make a man sick.
Your own son thinks his whole liberty depends on the outcome.
Well, Henry was never one of the brightest boys, you know.
'Tis said that King James had words with my Lady Tyrconnell and was very disparaging about the fighting qualities of the Irish.
Sing the song of us worted, man.
I'll sing a stave of it. The rest you'll have to pay for.
Oh, come on.
Which now will you? Let a man sing. King James, he fled from Derry, great disaster to avert. With grief his head he buried in Madame Tyrconnell's skirts. Oh, your Irish ran like cowards, ma'am, I'll tell you to your face. And I see, said she, that your Majesty was victor in the race.
What about King William?
Derry Christian Bowsies, I'll crack the skull of any blackguard that'll want to make me sing for nothing.
Are we then to continue to deny the divine right of kings?
His lordship, of course, has a point.
All these questions are answered when the deputy mayor, that damnable traitor, tried to threaten and then cajole the citizens of this fair city into opening the gates to Lord Tyrconnell's men.
I don't think this is quite...
And the apprentice boys gave their answer. Them gates, they said, will remain shut against the enemies of Protestantism.
Are we to be ruled by the mob, then? Is this the sort of language a member of the nobility is to expect from the commoners?
Nobility? Lord Tyrconnell?
A bitter enemy of Protestantism that would tie us all to the Catholic yoke the moment he set one Roman foot inside the city.
Tyrconnell wants to control the city. The better to enslave its citizens.
I don't think men should speak familiar of their betters.
Better than you, maybe, Alexander Irwin, Esquire, but not than me, for I am an honest citizen.
Are you implying that I am not an honest citizen?
I don't know what the hell you are. I do know your father was quick enough to grab my father's lands when Lord Donegal put them up for sale on the grounds that my father was a dangerous Presbyterian.
But, your lordship, I must protest.
You might restrain your temper, Alderman Tompkins.
You, Bishop, ask me to restrain my temper? Why, you're no better than him. Wasn't it your crowd that indicted my father in the first place?
Do not let us quarrel with each other. We are of various Christian sects within these walls, just as we're of various origins. Scots, English, Welsh, aye, and Irish too. But have we not a common cause? The way I see it is that our only hope is to look to England and King William to protect our liberties.
On the contrary, we must submit to Lord Tyrconnell. He is the king's deputy in Ireland.
King James' deputy, you mean?
Deputy of the lawful king. Besides, we have no guarantee that King William will win in the end.
So that's your game, is it?
As your Lord Bishop, I must warn you. Honour your king.
Aye, my lord, when the king is ready to honour us.
If you refuse, the crown will send such wrath upon us and will precipitate a war of such horrible consequences.
What do you think they're doing now?
That the city will be destroyed and all the estates...
Lord, your doctrine's very good, but we can't hear you out. We have much work to do.
You can see, my lord, the impossible position we are placed in.
Treason, sir, is a yet more impossible position.
Oh, my, thank God that terrible bombardment's over. Maybe the fighting's at an end now, eh?
Oh, I'm afraid not, Nellie. My son Henry told me...
Don't you talk to me about your son Henry, Alice Campsey. Your son Henry and his blackguards has lost me two of the best milkers I ever had. Oh, but they'll know more about it when the king's men arrive.
But we're only doing it for us, Nellie.
Speak for yourself, Alice Campsey. They never did anything for me. Not for anybody else to go by what the neighbours told me.
Oh, I've heard what the people are saying, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves. They're an ungrateful lot.
Mercy, lassie, what are we to be grateful for? Butter at 11 whole pence a pound when you can get it. Beef 10 times dearer than when this nonsense started. And milk that you couldn't buy if you were a lord of the county. Is that what you want us to be grateful for?
Hey, I told him that he'd get no thanks.
Well, he should have listened to you then. But I'm telling you, as soon as the king's men enter that gate this day, your son Henry will be lucky if the townsfolk don't hang him before the soldiers get a chance to.
My son will give up his life before them gates is open.
Oh, well, that can't be long now then, for the guns have stopped.
The guns have stopped, Nellie. Henry told me to allow safe conduct for the bishop to leave the city. It's what they call a truce.
The bishop leaving? Oh, Havers, woman, how would the bishop leave his people at a time like this?
Oh, do you see over there?
Where?
By the guard room. That's Dr. Hopkins' chair.
Beef 10 pence a pound. Come on, ladies, come and buy. Butter 11 pence a pound. Beef 10 pence a pound. Come on, ladies, come and buy. Lovely fresh.
Well, may the devil pull it from under him, that's all I can say.
You are intent on leaving the city, then, my lord?
People have shown no inclination to obey the directions of the established church, Mr. Walker.
It is no disrespect to you or me, my lord. It is but that they love their religion too well.
They might love it more wisely. But be that as it may, I will not compound treason by remaining longer in this city.
Treason to whom, my lord?
To King James, of course.
William of Orange is King of England now, my lord.
Because a rebel succeeds in battle, does that make him the lawful king?
Well, the King of England is also the King of Ireland. Why, then, is William not king here?
It would greatly encourage the morale of the citizens if you were to remain in Derry, my lord.
That is quite out of the question, Governor.
We entreat you to reconsider, my lord.
I might ask the same of you, Mr. Walker, and indeed of the Governor.
We have considered the matter very carefully.
Were we to wait until we were overwhelmed by Tyrconnell's marauders?
You were driven into revolt, sir, by nonconformist rabble. Can you not see that you, a pastor of the established church, are merely the tool of vulgar Presbyterians?
Better than being slaves of the Pope.
Under King James, the Episcopalian Church was allowed every liberty of worship.
Which is considerably more liberty than you Episcopalians gave us Presbyterians, my lord.
Captain Ash?
Your captain obviously regrets the passing of Cromwell, a common feeling of the young. However, I must take my leave of you, Governor.
Now get that rabble from in front of the bishop's chair!
Me, Governor Mitchellburn, but at least we've not run like our betters.
I have no intention of deserting my flock, my man. I shall return to Derry when Derry returns to its senses.
Governor Lundy said the same thing as he was going over the wall, my lord.
What is that the rabble are shouting?
They're saying, my lord, you're a Teig, my lord. A Teig being the rabble's name for a pope head.
Ireland's to have a new deputy, Lily Bolero, Molinala. Lero, Lily Bolero, Lily Bolero, Molinala. Lero, Lily Bolero, Lily Bolero, Molinala.
Some of those words I didn't understand.
Oh, Gaelic, my lord, meaning the day is ours, or we've won the day.
By Christ, for the prophecies now come to pass. Lily Bolero, Molinala. The John of Tyrconnell's the ass. Lily Bolero, Molinala.
What you've done is wrong. He had no chance to defend his crimes.
He's had all the chances he's ever likely to get now.
We must do nothing to let the cause of Presbyterianism down.
We're all with you, mate. You take care of the soldiers, and we'll take care of our own.
Oh, my God, Henry, why? They couldn't hang the bishop. They got their next best hit. Man making money from their misfortune.
Guilty must be punished.
How do you punish a whole mob, Governor?
The people were right. Any shopkeeper found guilty of such crimes is guilty of treason to the rebellion.
How do you prevent a rebellion from turning into a degenerate riot?
We must impose an oath on the people that each should give a true account of what provisions they have.
And then?
We allow a week's sufficiency, according to each family's needs. The rest is taken to the storehouse. It's the only way that we can ensure an equal distribution of what provisions we have.
I can't feed the
That's
family
the
on
same
that.
as there is for everyone. Move on.
I got to see the Colonel.
What's the trouble? What's the trouble?
Colonel?
You can't see the Colonel.
I
I've
got
told
to
you
see the
before. She wants more food, sir.
You've had your fair share, ma'am. There is no more.
But you don't understand, sir. I will give all my family and my daughter's family to the church, sir.
The church, ma'am? What church?
Mrs. Cunningham's people are Catholic, sir.
I'm changing the religion, sir. I've seen the light.
There is no more food, ma'am.
Did you ever look at hungry children, sir?
You must explain to them.
How do I
You share
explain
the-
a thing like that to children, sir?
There's nothing more I can do. Now, you must leave and let me get on with my work.
Come on, we've got
The
to go.
Colonel?
Come on.
Sacred Heart of Jesus is religion worth nothing at all.
Joshua, judge of Gentiles, mute your awesome horn. Protect your children, Joshua, who are the Christ's firstborn. Guard us, gentle Joshua. This is not Jericho. Turn from us your righteous horn and blow, Joshua, blow.
The gates! The gates! Stand kings! Stand through the gates!
Piteous, good Joshua, teach us to withstand the Roman hordes in evil horde who spurn the Christ's right hand. Lead us, gentle Joshua, while heaven around them falls. Flint hard be the horn of truth, who God brave Derry's
As soon as the king's army enters, they'll spare neither woman nor child.
The longer we resist, the worse will be the temper of them outside.
Another couple of hours or so and that ball will not have hurt my feet.
Oh, Sam, why not?
Because in another couple of hours there'll be no balls left to hurt anybody.
That sort of talk is bloody defeatism, Sam.
We to go on then till there's nothing but to throw stones at them then, Robert Morrison.
To the bitter end, Sam Harvey, to the bitter end. Sam!
The battering guns have struck down more of the breastwork at Butcher's Gate.
It is to be expected that the enemy would increase his bombardment as news reaches him of our state.
Exactly. Food must be found. We might look into Campsey's idea, Colonel.
You have good news of where the cattle are grazing at this moment, Mr. Campsey?
They're grazing just now between here and Pennyburn. Our idea is that while some of our soldiers from various regiments would engage the enemy at the ditches, the drovers, led by myself and Rab Morrison, would bring the cattle back in through the Shipkey Gate.
How strong are the enemy by the first ditches, Captain Ash?
They're mostly diggers, sir, but they could be relieved at any moment. To engage them, we'd need to send some 500 men.
We would have the element of surprise. I mean to say, they're hardly likely to suppose that a poor, hungry people would fall upon them in such a manner.
Do we have any choice in the matter, sir?
Oh, those ships. Why do they come no nearer than Culmore? Captain Ash?
Sir?
You and Captain Berry will be in charge of a party to leave by Butcher's Gate. Inform Captain Wilson and Captain Hamilton that they will command the party to leave by Shipkey Gate. Have your men ready to leave by 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, sir.
I'll inform the General Council of what we're doing.
Oh, sir. The word, sir.
The word?
We may not be able to return by the same gate we left at.
Oh, yes. The word is orange.
Orange? I like that. Indeed I do.
He's my son Johnny still at the butcher's gate?
Go home, woman, before you kill dead.
I have to see Johnny.
Go home, Mrs. Cunningham. We'll tell him you're looking for him.
Get off, see him.
Woman.
I've got to see my son Johnny. There's no need to behave like that. I only want to know if he's any intention of going back to his work.
We'll bring back some meat and other provisions with us when the raid's over.
Aye, if it succeeds.
It must succeed.
Do you think the Jacobites are all going to be sleeping when you arrive to rustle their cows?
It's courage that's needed now. Courage and daring. Come on, lads.
That boy'll never die in his bed.
You were like him yourself one time.
He must have been a right young hothead.
Henry's more like you now than you are yourself. You're cautious.
I have more sense.
Aye. God help us, it comes to each one of us in the end.
You wouldn't have been.
Christ, that's all we needed. A drunken Nelly falls to let the enemy know our position.
You don't think they might have a vague idea of our position already, Henry?
Oh, wouldn't he call King Billy's small? No, Jimmy lying in the area. And wouldn't he roll them in the hay? Oh, preserve us. Oh, it's sneaking out for the 40-hour, Henry Campsey. Oh, sound sense. If I was in 3 sheets in the wind, I would follow along behind you.
Get home as quiet as you can, Nelly. Go on.
I was going to think I will. I'll go with you anyway. Where's the future for an old woman in a place like this?
We're going to have a lot of trouble, Henry. She's very drunk.
Drunk, am I? They never good. What else would it be in me drinking all yesterday and on into tomorrow?
Oh, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Ashamed of myself? When there's scarcely a sight of food in the whole of Derry that would make a fat moose. Except for them that's wealthy, of course.
Everybody's going hungry.
Oh, but I wouldn't mind going hungry. The same as the Mr. Irwins and the Lord Donegal. With their flitches of bacon and their sides of beef and the very mattresses in their beds stuffed with bread.
You must come on.
We've had enough of your lies.
And the whole bloody lot of them's looking for us to
in.
behind your backs.
Come on, Nelly. Come on.
I'll buy back where it takes me. A shout of innocence. And you poor idiots will all be hanged. You'll all be hanged. Every last bloody one of you. Oh, I wouldn't call King Billy small, nor Jimmy lying in the hero. And I wouldn't roll them in the hay.
Almighty and most merciful God, who never fails to succor those that put trust in thee, look down with the eye of pity and compassion upon thy poor servants, and suffer us not to sink under the heavy burden of our sorrows.
And when it's all over, George?
Well, whoever wins will be caught in the middle.
How do you mean?
Well, the Presbyterians never won a freedom yet. Either from Rome or England. From High Church or Vatican.
It's a very elusive freedom we seem to be seeking. Very elusive altogether.
Well, we'll continue as elders to keep meeting, keep planning, and keep maintaining our rights. And in the end, despite them all, we'll win through.
Why should we?
Well, because we have the longer experience in the business of defending our rights. That's why.
It was contained in a bomb casing. I see it as a sop. The enemy know how desperate our plight is, so they offer us honourable surrender.
Well, we have fought the good fight. Nobody can deny us that. Does it say any word about our estates?
Oh, yes, Mr. Owen. You are well looked after in that respect.
Yes, Governor, but does it say so in so many words?
You shall be restored to your estates and livings, and shall have free liberty of religion whatsoever it be.
Very fair, Governor. I think His Majesty's a gentleman.
Be not obstinate against your natural prince. Expose yourselves no longer to the miseries you undergo.
So this fella says to me, are you going? Heavens, name, Mama, what are you cooking there?
Nettle soup.
Is it any good?
It makes the children and the owl ones sleep, and sleep keeps their mind off the hunger. Oh, Matthew. Oh, isn't that grand? A lamb's leg. Oh, isn't that a great feast we're going to have tonight?
I think that's part of the mayor's hound.
Aye, Harry McAllister's wife got the rest of them, and the mayor's wild.
Lift up the light of thy countenance upon us, and speak peace to us, and say, I will deliver you for my name's sake. Let our enemies be scattered before us.
We have done our very best. There'll be no disgrace if we surrender with dignity now.
Surrender, is it? Oh, you white-livered lord's bastard! By Christ, I'll give you people surrender before the night's out!
Captain Ash, what happened?
It was like hell, sir. Like the white heat of hell. Complete failure. The regiment lost some men. We took a lot more as prisoners. The cattle were driven off as we approached.
And you, Captain Ash?
He fell off his horse chasing Frenchmen.
Prisoners? We want a beef for hungry people, and you take hungry people prisoner.
All right,
what sort of logic is that, Captain Ash?
It went badly, but at least we tried. We didn't think that members of the corporation were going to sell us out in our absence, though.
We must parley. We must parley with the enemy.
Of course we must.
Governor, them fellas I can understand. To buy back their estates would sell us down the Foyle and all the way to the Tower at London.
I protest.
And you, Governor, to hear you talk of surrender.
I spoke of parley, not surrender. Such a parley would at least give us a chance to bury our dead and perhaps get one last message through to the ships at Culmore.
Governor, about our estate, are they going to be...
No, Campsie. The governor's right. At least it would give us time.
Right? To act with those blackguards against the will of the people.
Very soon there'll be no will, for there'll be no people.
Grant what we ask, and whatever else is needful for us, through the merits of thy dearly beloved Son and our alone Saviour, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Ye Jacobites by name, give an ear, give an ear. Ye Jacobites by name, give an ear. Ye Jacobites by name, your faults I will proclaim. Your doctrine I must blame. You shall hear, you shall hear. Your doctrine I must blame. You shall hear. What is right and what is good.
Poor old Harry this minute isn't worried about those bloody pictures hanging in the mayor's chamber.
Right worried he was whether he had the plague or the hunger fever.
How can he tell the difference?
He decided it was the plague anyway. Take me to the mayor, says he, and let my last act be to contaminate the bastard.
God, I must have hated the mayor.
Ah, not all the time. Until he found all of them, the mayor and the whole bloody family, eating bacon.
Bacon? Och, no. Sure, there's not even a rind of a rasher to be found anywhere.
True as Christ. And to keep the smell from getting about, he found them sitting stuffing themselves in the wash house.
Thou art the God of my salvation.
What makes heroic strife? Famed afar, famed afar. What makes heroic strife? Famed afar. What makes heroic strife? To whet the assassin's knife, or haunt our parents' life with bloody war, with bloody war, or haunt our parents' life with bloody war. Then let your schemes alone in the state, in the state. Then let your schemes alone in the state. Then let your schemes alone adore the rising sun, and leave a man undone to his fate, to his fate, and leave a man undone to his fate.
All quiet now, sir, after the bombardment.
And which was worse, the cannon or that damn ballad singer?
2 days' food left. He takes the public mind off the immediate horror. He serves a purpose.
I would to God he'd serve that purpose somewhere else.
A word with you, Colonel Mitroban, in private.
I'll inspect the walls, sir.
Thank you, Captain.
This situation is most serious. Most serious.
Yes, it has been for some considerable time, Reverend. 105 days, to be exact.
Yes, morale is very low, and authority, our authority, seems to hold sway no longer.
Oh?
Yes, ever since the apprentice boys closed the gates, which, of course, I supported at the time, the will of the mob, the whim, I should say, has time and again threatened and ordered conduct of our defense.
Are we so disorderly? I thought the conduct of our defenders was exemplary, despite their suffering.
Disorderly, yes. Discontented. I mean, these rumors. Continuous gossip behind my back, wherever I go. Most destructive.
What do you mean, Reverend?
Well, about the food. Allegations of my hoarding. I thought my name had been cleared completely.
Yes, you certainly went to great lengths to clear your name.
Exactly. 100 officers signed a statement in my defense.
And no less than 100 signed the accusation.
Yes, but the matter was resolved. My name was cleared.
Reverend Walker, I cannot concern myself with your good name. That is your affair.
The good name of the church concerns us all. If the people lose faith in their spiritual leaders, where do we stand?
The faith of the people in their leaders has been sorely tested by recent events. Both their governor and their bishop have deserted them. Is it any wonder that the people grow suspicious when they see their leaders eating better than they do?
Colonel!
As is known to have happened.
But not on my part! As a minister of God,
naturally, the people demand to see hoarders punished.
Exactly. The people demand. The people demand. The people demand too much. Well, all this smacks more of anarchy than...
Than what, sir?
Well, than any ordered Christian mode of life. Do not forget, Colonel, religion is our cause here. And our support.
Religion is my cause and my support too, Reverend, although we worship in different churches. But religion does not remove our duty and dependence one upon the other. Authority is not sacred. Well, I'm only here because I was appointed governor by the will of the people. The people wish to oppose the army of James, and I do their bidding. Now, despite your position, you are subject to the same rules. If the people suspect you of hoarding, naturally they will grow angry. Yes, Captain.
Well, I don't really know, sir.
Well, is it your inspection?
Oh, I didn't do it, sir. Oh, that is, I did, but...
Well, Captain, are you ill?
Oh, no, sir. Sir, the ballad singer. He's outside the walls and he's talking to the defenders. He says he's been right through the enemy lines and that they've started a retreat.
Bring that man to me.
We're safe!
Now let me hear the ballad singer. Now, sir, you have something to tell us.
He told us he's been up to Loch Swilly.
I have not indeed been to Loch Swilly. How in God's name could I get to Loch...
All right, sir, but do you have news?
If he's not lying through his teeth.
Now, Mr.
Lazarian, sir.
Lazarian.
I'm Lazarian. He's a ballad singer.
Yes.
I have been this night past amongst the fold of the mortal enemies of the true church. And the tales I have to tell will be sung for many and many a year after myself and all the concerned have been...
Lazarian, that's it. Yeah, tell the governor what's important now. He has no time to listen to us a ballad.
It is rumoured amongst the Irish and French soldiers that the navy of King William has broken the boom across the river.
The bombardment has stopped at any rate, sir.
The lead ship of His Majesty's fleet rowed through the boom and lowered it to the sea floor at Culmore Point.
Message from the fleet, sir.
Fire 7 guns from the steeple, Captain. And hang a lantern on the pole where the flag flies.
Yes, sir. Will it be seen, sir?
Oh, it best be seen tonight, or the ships will bombard us, as well as the army of James.
Yes, sir. I see, sir.
our joy complete on this, the very first anniversary day of the relief of our city of Londonderry. We have among us, my lord, the former Bishop of Londonderry, the Right Reverend Dr. Hopkins.
Who is not the shame of it?
Has come, not only to share this glorious celebration with us, but, as I understand it, is the bearer of a signal honour from our beloved and sovereign majesties King William and Queen Mary. An honour to be bestowed on our own Reverend Dr. George Walker. Citizens, I give you Dr. Hopkins.
People, thank you for your welcome of me. The message I have to give you is this. Our dread sovereign lord, King William, of his beneficence, besides his first bounty to Dr. Walker, hath been graciously pleased to appoint him Bishop of Londonderry.
Ach, no, they wouldn't do that. Not to the Colonel. Wouldn't push him aside. The people wouldn't let them.
I did it to Da and me. We've both lost our livelihood.
But sure, what could the Lord and Master do for you? After all, you've only the one arm, son.
They can do anything they like.
But the Colonel's one of them, George.
Mitchell was a true Presbyterian, and he knew what those high holy Church of Englanders were going to get up to. Why do you think he wanted the plain folk to hold on to their guns?
By God, the mayor and Dr. Walker weren't long getting the muskets from our hands as soon as the peace was made. To hell with this.
A petition. A petition of Lieutenant Henry Campsey to be offered by our Member of Parliament to the House of Commons. He was a principal actor in shutting the gates of Londonderry against the Earl of Antrim's regiment, Irish Papers 1689. He was wounded in the said siege to the great danger of his life, and that by the siege of Derry and the late troubles, he and his family are much reduced and are praying relief.
That's very nice, Henry. Nice and humble.
Sweet Christ, I'd rather starve first. Sure you're not going to go cap in hand, are you?
Cap in hand is right, Da, but I've only the one.
Pay no attention to that man, son, for he'll get you into terrible trouble with advice like that.
And of course, we must commend our own mayor for the part he played in the Great Siege. Above all, I should like to thank the members of the corporation and my Lord Bishop for the part they played in obtaining this honour I have received.
There is only one sad comment to be made today. I wish that it had not fallen to my lot to impart such news, but having withstood all the I will not shirk from my duty. Alderman Tompkins, read the minute of the corporation.
It is hereby resolved that the said Alderman, John Mitchellburn, be disenfranchised, displaced, and removed from the office of this city of Londonderry.
A letter from His Gracious Majesty. His Majesty first gives thanks to Almighty God for His signal mercy in supporting the hearts of His good subjects amidst the great and various difficulties arising from a furious opposition without, and yet more pressing necessity within these walls, and bringing them at last deliverance.
I'm surprised to see you here, Governor. I thought you'd be out there on the platform.
No, Mr. Campsey, I'm just here to appeal my case. Perhaps you did not know that I have been removed from office.
I heard something. But they can't do that, Governor.
They have done it, Mr. Campsey. And done it rather well, I think.
So that neither they nor any other of our loving subjects shall ever have reason to repent them of a faithful discharge of their duty.
Long live the King!
We fought the good fight and some died for the cause. that we should unite under Protestant laws. But High Church and King William and Papists agree. There's no freedom on earth for dissenters like me. Yes, I'm a dissenter, and all my tormentors say freedom's not meant for dissenters like me.